Hello friends, welcome to our channel Cbse English, the topper's choice. In today's video, we are going to discuss class 12th first story from the book Vistas The Third Level. Here we go. At the beginning, we'll talk about the author of the story. Jack Finney is the author of the story. Walter Braden Jack Finney was born on 2nd October 1911 and died on 14th November 1995, was an American author and given the name John Finney when he was born. After his father died when Finney was 3 years old, he was renamed Walter Braden Finney in honor of his father, but continued to be known as Jack. Finney was graduated from Knox College with the class of 1934 and went on to become a noted author of speculative fiction with several short story collections and novels. His best-known works are science fiction and thrillers, including The Body Snatchers and Time and Again. The former was the basis of the 1956 film Invasion of the Body Snatchers and its remakes. Theme of the story. The story, The Third Level, depicts the theme of escapism as a psychological refuge from the grim realities of the present-day world, along with the desire to stay with the past, a desire that Charlie's wife Louisa does not contest. Sam has also happily escaped, with no desire to return to his old profession. The story exposes the vulnerable side of the common man. Surrounded by myriad problems, we humans sometimes experience a craving for peace and serenity and look for possible escapes. The story is about time intersection and illusion, a kind of long dream that we do not experience during our sleep. Introduction to the story. The Third Level, written by Jack Finney, is a story about a 31-year-old man named Charlie. Besides, this is a psychological story that refers to the subway at the Grand Central Railway Station, which takes passengers to Galesburg. In addition, the subway becomes the interconnection between the narrator's harsh reality and fantasy. Moreover, the third level was a way of escape for Charlie. As life in the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, uncertainties, worries, and stress, it takes Charlie to a different world that his friend also calls a waking dream wish fulfillment. Further, the story is about Charlie's tendency to escape from the world. Most importantly, the third level starts because of Sam's letter written on 18th July 1984. The story shows the connection between time and space. Now we'll discuss the summary of this story. The narrator of the story, Charlie, is well aware and assured of the fact that Grand Central Station, New York, has only 2 levels. However, he is thrilled by his experience of finding the third level as well. He describes in detail about the setting of this third level, which clearly didn't seem that of the present times. There were open flame gas lights, brass spittoons. People too were dressed differently, like the man wore a derby hat, a black 4-button suit with tiny lapels, and he had a big black handlebar mustache. Women wore mutton sleeves, and there were certain other things that he noticed which were quite obsolete or misfits for the present years. He even got a glimpse of a locomotive or a vehicle of career and ease. He is astounded to find himself in the past and to get a reassurance. He looks at the newspaper The World, which was dated 11th June 1894, and it was now all of his doubts were put to an end, as he knew that publication of the newspaper The World had stopped way earlier. Along with his wife Louisa, he wanted to stay in the world he discovered, and therefore he went to the ticket counter to ask for 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois, where he could stay with his wife, far away from the anxious and fearful world of the present. However, as astounded as he was upon looking everyone and everything, so were the people around him by noticing him. Like the man at the ticket counter noticed how differently was he dressed. Though he could not buy the tickets as he did not have the running currency of that time, he decided to go back, exchange the new currency for the old one, and then return to the third level with his wife Louisa. After returning back and getting his currency exchanged, he tried to find the third level, but it was not found. Nonetheless, Charlie told all this to his wife, and she got worried about him, and eventually he had to stop looking for the third level. His psychiatrist friend Sam disappeared all of the sudden, and nobody knew about his whereabouts. One night, while he was fussing with his stamp collection, Charlie found a first day cover. First day cover means the mailed envelope with a blank page inside that the stamp collector mails to himself when a new stamp is issued, which has a postmark that proves the date. So he found a first day cover that was addressed to his grandfather in Galesburg, which was dated July 18, 1894. The letter in the first day cover was not blank and had something written on it. This turned out to be a letter signed by his friend Sam. Sam wrote in the letter that he had managed to find the third level and he is happy there and wanted Charlie to keep looking for it as it was worth it. Charlie went to the stamp and coin store and figured out that Sam bought $800 worth of old-style currency. This was astonishing for Charlie, as Sam himself referred this as a waking dream wish fulfillment, which Charlie used to escape his unhappy present, and now he himself chose to become a part of this hunky-dory world that was situated in past. Now we'll discuss the main characters of the story. Number 1. Charlie. The protagonist of the story, Charlie, is a true representative of modern man. He is a victim of stress, insecurity, and fear and wants to run away from reality. He is an escapist and wants to escape from the world of harsh realities. He is fond of stamp collection, a hobby which he takes up to make his leisure hours more productive and fulfilling experience. But his psychiatrist friend calls it a temporary refuge from reality. He yearns to lead a good, simple life of his grandfather's time, when things were pretty nice and peaceful. He quests for the fabulous ordinariness of a bygone age that was free from modern razzle-dazzle, sophistication, and material comforts, but exudes peace and tranquility. He wants to go to Galesburg, Illinois, in the year 1894, when the First World War was 20 years off and the Second World War still 40 years ahead. He is an imaginative person. Hence, on the wings of his imagination, he takes a flight to the non-existent world, the third level at Central Station. But after finding it once, he and his wife fail to find it again. In short, Charlie is the true representative of the modern man who is torn between the pulls and pressures of a hectic modern life and wants to escape since he is not happy. Number 2. Sam, Charlie's psychiatrist friend. Sam is a psychiatrist by profession. He is a typical city boy. When Charlie shares he is visiting the third level, he tells him it is a waking dream wish fulfillment. He tells him that he is looking for ways to escape since he is not happy. But he immediately revises his statement that Charlie is a victim of insecurities of modern life. He dubs the argument of narrator's hobby of stamp collection as a temporary refuge from reality. He does not believe in mixing up his profession with his friendship. He gets fascinated by Charlie's description of Galesburg, Illinois, as a wonderful town with big old frame houses, huge lawns, tremendous trees lining the streets. He is also affected by the pulls and pressures of modern life that he thinks of escaping to the peaceful world of Galesburg of 1894. In the end, he discovers the third level of Grand Central and goes there. He writes a letter from there advising Charlie and Louisa to keep finding the third level because it is worth. According to Charlie, Sam must have set up his little hay feed and grain businesses as he can't go back to his old business as psychiatrists are redundant in Galesburg of 1894. Number 3. Louisa. Louisa is Charlie's wife. She is loving and caring towards her husband. However, she is a simple lady and it is not difficult to take her in. She refuses to accept the psychiatrist's observation that her husband is unhappy. She takes this comment as a personal attack and feels kind of mad. On being told the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, etc., she feels satisfied with the psychiatrist's explanation. When Charlie talks to her about his predicament regarding the third level, she gets alarmed and advises him not to look for the third level anymore. Her husband's exchanging the new currency with the old one is a cause of concern for her, and she tells Charlie emphatically to stop looking for it. When Charlie tells her about Sam's disappearance, she joins him in looking for the third level every weekend. Now we'll discuss the main points of the story. Charlie is convinced that there are 3, not just 2, levels of Grand Central Station. Charlie's psychiatrist friend Sam Wenner and his friends think his delusion is a waking dream wish fulfillment and, like his stamp collection, a temporary refuge from a world full of insecurity, fear, war, and worry. Charlie describes how one evening, while hurrying home from office, he decides to take the subway from Grand Central Station and gets lost. He eventually finds himself on a strange third level with spittoons, gaslights, an ancient locomotive, and people whose appearance and clothes look strange. He realizes that he has somehow gone back in time to 1894, which is confirmed by the newspaper's lead story on President Cleveland. Charlie tries to buy tickets to Galesburg, Illinois, a wonderful town with big old frame houses, huge lawns, and tremendous trees, and where summer evenings were twice as long and people lived in peace and harmony. But the clerk won't accept his 1950 currency, and so he leaves the station. During his lunch break the next day, Charlie withdraws nearly all his savings and buys old-style currency to buy tickets to Galesburg of 1894. But he can never again find the entrance to the third level at Grand Central Station. Charlie finds evidence that the third level actually exists when he discovers a letter dated July 18, 1894, addressed to his grandfather at Galesburg, Illinois, from his psychiatrist friend Sam Weiner, who, it seems, was not skeptical of the third level as he had appeared. So dear friends, if you have liked this video, please click on like, subscribe the channel and click on the bell icon to get more videos like this. Thank you very much for watching.